All right, so some of my more experienced engine guys that watch the channel might already know this, but this has some interesting stuff for people who aren't familiar with the engines, who watch the videos to learn more about them, and that is the concept of an axial power turbine. So on this DD15 right here, as we're looking at it, we're on the exhaust side of the engine. You can see the EGR cooler and the EGR valve, and then right below it is the turbocharger, and you can see the flow path from the turbo going to the charge air cooler, and then from the air filter going into the turbo. But this also has another turbo back here. But it's a little bit different than having a compound turbo where both turbos are supplying boost pressure to the cylinders. This turbo is, right? This one is providing boost pressure, but the exhaust gas that's left over travels through this turbo and goes into this one that's in here. So you can see right here the bellows that connect the two turbos to each other. But this turbo is called an axial power turbine. And if we look back here, we can see what is called basically the clutching mechanism. And what this turbine does is it takes that leftover exhaust heat from spooling up the first turbo, goes into this turbo, spools it up, then has some gear reduction in the clutching mechanism down here to increase the amount of torque it creates while it's spinning. And then this is gear connected to a gear in the gear housing in the back of the engine. So what it's doing is directly adding torque to the crankshaft. So it's a fuel saving thing. I've always been a little bit curious if the amount of horsepower it creates is worth the cost of having it. I've been told by some of the Freightliner instructors that this creates around 50 to 70 horsepower. So kind of iffy, not when you consider that this fan alone can be up to a 75 horsepower parasitic load. So I'm not real sold on these things, but they are kind of neat in how they work. And then you have the clutching mechanism so that if the RPMs of the engine exceeds what this thing's trying to create, it'll declutch and not cause any kind of bushing or bearing or damage to it. So pretty interesting little thing. If you're a student at UTI, you don't get to take these apart and look at them in the core classes because we do teardowns on medium duty engines. So if you want to do a teardown on like a DD15 and take this apart and see how it works, you're going to have to take the Finish First or Freightliner course. And if you wanted to do one of these Cummins, then you would have to take the Cummins course. So for this lab, all we're really using them for is starting diagnostics, learning how to use the diagnostic link for the Detroits and Cummins Insight. But yeah, this is the course where you learn how to basically communicate with the engines and how to find specifications for fuel flow, wiring resistance, things like that, where we give them a symptom or a fault code and they look up information. But yeah, I thought you guys might like to see that DD15, that after treatment, or not after treatment, but that axial power turbine, the funky space age looking fuel filter assembly it's got on it. The DD15s are way different, than its older brother over here, the Series 60. So you look at that DD and then you come over here and look at the Series 60. It's a lot more basic and a lot simpler than that DD is. I know some of you are probably looking at all this stuff going on here and thinking that's not simple, but in reality, comparing the two, it is pretty simple. Hope you like, subscribe. If you have any specific videos you would like made, you want to learn more about certain topics, let me know in the comments. Please share, like, subscribe, anything you can do to get YouTube to send this out to more people. I would appreciate it. Thank you.